I think you set me up for trouble here because after Pastor Dami, what do you want me to come and say that?
Is your itinerary, DSA? You knew that we had to climb 7 mountains and swim 7 oceans to get you here. Is your itinerary that caused it
I
to?
know, but you have allowed me do my first session in a gentle tone, and then Pastor Dami scattered the ground. You know, I'm more of
DSA, you are not gentle. You are gentle now. When this class is over, you will be shouting even your hotel room, say, what's happening? You, oh yeah, now let's see.
It is well. Thank you, Pastor Dami, for that. That was fantastic. I was blessed, and of course, I'm not surprised. I've always been blessed by you. God bless you for what you do, and just such a blessing and a unique man. Thank you to the team for having me. Timmy is such a special person to me. In fact, Google calls her my wife, actually. When you Google who is my wife, you see Timmy Ajibewa. So we're currently having to rectify that, so but such a wonderful person. It's good to be here. I'm excited about what you guys have been learning. Amazing speakers, Jimmy Dewe, great people have been invited. I pray we do something while we're learning, because it's not just about hearing, it's about doing. One of the biggest secrets of my life is that I had to work so hard to make sure that my life goes beyond just listening and hearing and to doing more than I even learn. And that changed my life forever, right? I'm a dangerous doer. Like I just tell me and I will do it. Currently we're in US, in UK, and in Dubai. A lot of people see me sell top properties in the UK, particularly in Dubai here, and don't know that is my own mentorship session for what I'm replicating in Africa. And it's important that we do. Africans, we talk a lot. We everybody has an answer to every issue, but not many of us are doing. And I hope that all of us who participate at this event will become doers and God helping us. I want to share about discovering purpose. How did I discover purpose? It's been a tough journey for me, knowing what I was called to do. First of all was that I was born very, very poor. Yesterday I was at Burj Al Arab. Burj Al Arab is said to be the world's 7-star hotel. So I have a show called Investment Chart in a Rolls Royce. So we shoot now in Dubai at Burj Al Arab. So I've been lodged there for a while, for 2 days. So last night I had to do a video. Was it last night or the day before? The most expensive toilet I've ever used was of course Burj Al Arab toilet. And I was saying that, do you know I never saw a water closet until I was age 13? That you can flush your poo-poo. I didn't do that until, in fact, the first day, me and my sibling, we had to be flushing. It was a miracle. It was something special. Like, we're just pressing the thing like that so they can flush. Because before then, it was short put we used to do. And of course, pit toilet, those were what we're used to. And that I was seeing that for the first time, age 13. And so the first thing I would say in discovering purpose, and I learned this from Miles Morrow, whatever irritates you the most is what you're created to solve. And so for me, poverty irritated me. My mom would take us to our junior staff, not even senior. Okay, sometimes senior as well. Junior staff, and say, Omo in law school, Ejo, I will interpret that, meaning your son is going to school. kindly borrow me money to buy some groceries for him to go to school. And they will look at me and my mom from top to bottom. And of course, with a very annoying answer that they don't have money themselves. And, they too, they're struggling. And I remember we leave the place, I would start yelling at my mom, what kind of embarrassment? Why would we go and be borrowing money from them? Of course, today now, my mom is late. And of course, that's one of the biggest regrets of my life. And what did I know then? I didn't know that, of course, she herself was embarrassed, but she had no choice. She has 5 children and she's the only breadwinner. And she just has to find a way to send them to school. And she vowed, because she felt her promotion was affected because she didn't have a university degree. So she wanted to make sure her children go to school. So whatever is irritating you right now, whatever it is that is your biggest nightmare, is probably what God has created you to solve. So it's not, a coincidence that today I probably am one of the highest, I probably raised the highest and fastest number of billionaires. This year alone, I've had more than 5 people send us testimony of in 12 months becoming a billionaire from my teaching, right? One of them just sent his own. He listened to how we set target last year for our Dubai business to do $20 million. So, he was like, oh no. And then this year, $100 million was our target for our Dubai business. And he said, you know what? My own target is 2 billion naira. And he just closed a property deal of 3.6 billion and sent us the testimony, right? I had another one, who also started his real estate business and did over 2 billion. In fact, there's one who is in my coaching program, did 3 billion last year in real estate. So it's not coincident that today God has used me to really raise billionaires and millionaires, because that which irritates me the most, seeing people being poor myself, struggling through poverty. At some point I felt there must be some demons that just vowed I won't be rich. This is because I did almost 20 businesses, they kept failing. Pastor Dami was mentioning Pastor Paul Adefarasin. I know how many experience, okay, that I went to sell popcorn. While we were dancing, I was also selling popcorn at the side. In fact, the one that rained was supposed to be my biggest breakthrough, because I was able to get a loan. We got a lot of Coke. So I added Coke and a couple of things to my popcorn business. Went to buy, I think, about 4 popcorn machines. And it was the biggest loss because it then rained. And then, so people couldn't buy popcorn, the drinks we bought, it was a mess. So it was just like, oh no, something was always messing this whole trying to be wealthy. And that leads me to number 2. For me, poverty was also a trigger to discovering purpose. The fact that I was poor. So first of all, of course, I was irritated by poverty, but the fact that I remained poor. I remember some people asking me questions and say, why didn't you give up? I said, I had no choice. Honestly, if I had a choice, I would give up. But I just didn't have one. When my late mother died, my late mother was also now my hope. My final years, she died of ovarian cancer. We couldn't send her to a good hospital on time to diagnose her for 6 months. By the time, her boss sent her to a private hospital to diagnose what was going on, it has spread. She was like a 9-month pregnant woman. And I had the hope, because I had always known I would do business. And I've been doing business on campus. So my hope was that by the time I graduate from school, my mom would take a loan. And that would be my capital to start business. Now she died. Before I remember my final year, of course, I couldn't pay school fees. So I had a trade fair that I was organizing even before she died. Of course, now she's dead. So I organized the trade fair, and day two, the VC said we should cancel the whole thing, that he's canceling the trade fair. We should leave. I remember going to meet him, prostrating on the floor, crying and begging that my mother had died. Is the proceeds from this trade fair I'm going to use to pay school fees. I mean, I said all manner, and he was just conning me and told me to get out, and yes, and ended that trade fair. So everything I kept doing, we had a time in the house with my older brother. My older brother was married, his wife was pregnant, and for 2 days we had not eaten, nothing, with his pregnant wife as well. And so that forced me to say, you know what, I'm going to go, what can I sell? I started bulk SMS on campus. So I used to go to 20 schools. So I said, at this point that there's even no food, something has to come. So I would trek to 20 schools a day to convince them to buy bulk SMS from me. They don't know me from it. Adam, I don't even have a laptop. When they pay me, I will now need to collect the database of their parents and then go to a cyber cafe to end up sending the message. But poverty forced me to jump up. Now, this is powerful. If you're already on the ground, you have nowhere else to go than to go up. And I want us to know that when you are in that point, most likely you are facing what you are called to do, right? In many cases, when you have no other place to go, you have no other option, just look, right? Just think deeper. You are in front of what God called you to do. You are right there, right there. Sometimes we just don't see it, that this is it. And this is what helps you to stay the course. Sometimes people say to me, you are rich enough, okay, to relax. You still work 15 hours a day. Why? It was poverty. I tell, I don't want to go back to to where I'm coming from. Like, you don't get it. So whatever it takes, we have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing, right? We have to keep shattering those records till we get there and it becomes transgenerational. Number 3, very important, is mentors. Mentors are pointers to what you're called to do. One of those who God used for me was my spiritual mentor. And I keep saying it, that if I feel like relaxing in business, I just need to see Bishop Oyedepo and I wake up. I mean, before I left Nigeria, I was in Canaan land for service. And of course, I went there on Friday and I went to the new auditorium that is being constructed. My brain reset. And incidentally, I'm close to the person who is really behind, the funding, and all of that, and a lot of key decision making for that project. And when he was giving me some figures, I shook my head like, Holy Ghost, Jehovah. You're talking of a project that is worth over 100 billion naira, right? And it's just like one of those things. We were talking and said, okay, you know what? So I said, what do we do with these transportation things? Oh, so that's not an issue. Some companies have written that they're going to use their chopper. Church members can now start using chopper to come to church. $200, per passenger. And so, of course, I mean, definitely that would be even easier for me. And that, an airport is being, when I was hearing the whole thing, my brain was just like, oh no. So what does this mean? You see, a step of a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. When you have giant mentors, right? One step by them gets you to start running your own marathon. You start pumping, you start pushing. One of my great influence is also Dr. Cosmos Maduka. I when I look at how successful the man has been. He was in my office before I left Nigeria, and the level of humility, right? The level of, you just know that, Oga, you have long way to go. So and this is the trick. Get mentors that are way far. I was sharing with Tammy, I think it was Tammy, yeah, that I was sharing with the contract that I just got from Grand Cardone. Okay, I'll be hosting Grand Cardone in London, in London, Dubai, and in Nigeria. I'm hosting physically, and he's coming with his wife, with his children, of course, because he has to come with his private jet, a couple of other, key things. I was sharing what it's costing me. Let me see if I can share this, because some of these things is better shared, right? So that it doesn't look like a story. Can anybody see the fees here? This is 1.35 million, right? Dollars, right? If we change it to Nigerian naira, that should give us, I think around 800, almost 800 million naira to host one man. Okay, but what we don't understand, because sometimes we feel that mentors are expensive, right? It's because you also don't know how they get you to move at a faster pace, right? Your mindset change, right? I never think of, before the end of this year, we're already shopping for a private jet. I never think I could even own a private jet yet until I met Grand Cardone. I remember these guys were telling me there, I went and said, did you come with your own PJ? I said, PJ. So there's a way mentors just push you, right? They just stretch you. And that just helps you to even be focused. And in many cases, even if you don't know what your purpose is, you start aligning. And over time, it gets clearer. Even if what you had to start doing was to follow them, you will discover yours in that process. And that's the same thing would have happened to even Pastor Dami, right? Pastor Dami used to be in House on the Rock, and we see him Pastor Kings today, right? So you could see how mentors help to clear your path, help you to guide you and make that direction very clearer. Of course, some of the factors that helped me, and this you also have, in my own case, was my late mother. So I will give you a story I've never shared in public before. I told you Tammy is a special person to me, okay? I've never shared this story before in public. So I gave my life to Christ I was a teenager when I gave my life to Christ, I think 14 or so. But of course, when I got to university, I was in a hall, a lot of bad friends, and everybody, of course, we used to go to gym, and then I was not good pumping very well. So they said, you know what, if you take Igbo, you will pump, you'll be able to gym very well. So I said, I have never smoked. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've never just liked it. So I said, but can we eat this Igbo? Because I'm not just the smoker. So why not? So, so I ate some, and it was as if there was nothing doing me. So I did my gymming, went, had shower, was now going to school. I was on the bike. My eye was it was as if I was going to fall off the Okada. So I had to ask the Okada to turn back. So I went back to my room, locked the door, and slept off. And I had a dream. In fact, that's the day I discovered my biggest fear. So I dreamt that I was older. I was in my 40s. I had beards all over me. I was now a drug addict, and I came home and my mother was in tears. I remember waking up from that dream shouting. I was shouting. Since that time, I've never had such a encounter. You jump from and shouting. And that was, of course, the last time I ever tried Igbo in my life. So the fact that I had a mother who worked so hard, who suffered, helped me to realize that I have to become purposeful. I cannot just waste all that effort. My wife also played a great role. I'm married to a wonderful woman, right? Wonderful. There's nothing I did. She joined me in selling popcorn. And she was from a more average, stable family, but just believed in one, crazy guy like that. I remember going to my in-law to tell him I wanted to marry his daughter, and he said, I am not responsible enough to marry his daughter. Right? He looked at me, I was on palm slippers, on it, and then I said, I want to marry his favorite daughter of all, for that matter. And of course, he literally even slapped her when they got home, like, what do you know about marriage? See who you brought. You're no correct. My wife married me, against her father's consent when it wasn't that we're doing well. So now, you may not have a mother like mine, you may not have a wife like mine, but there's somebody in your life who is pointing you in the right direction. It may be your boss, it may be your uncle, it may be your brother, it may be your cousin, it may just be somebody in the neighborhood. Many times these people exist, but we never just take notice of them. And we never get closer to them. And we never find ourselves to say, this person is playing a significant role, right? How can I remain grounded? How can I get closer, right? Everybody's busy and everybody have other things to do. If some people give you attention, you better take those people special. I was listening to Pastor Boju, I think on Sunday, and he made mention of something powerful, and it's been the secret of my life. And I want you to take note of this. If there are people who have showed up for you in your toughest time, right? Never, ever forget them, right? Literally have a diary where you write it and say, there was a season of my life, right? That this person did this, that did this, that did this. The last time I hosted Feladrotre, he was sharing something about, some things I do for him. And because I never, worked with him, in fact, I met him one-on-one just very recently. But I was in the back row, 2005 or something. He came to Osu, and I was in a crossroad, right? Everybody was leaving the country. My mother too was trying to say, okay, let's see how maybe you get scholarship, we'll do something. And the guy talked about New Nigeria, talked about what was possible, right? And that shaped my purpose. Suddenly, thinking of traveling out of Nigeria, I said, I will make it in this country. And when I travel, I will be a big man. And it has happened today. So, I've traveled, but it's not that I ran away. We own businesses. We employ citizens of those countries. We pay in dollars, in pounds, in dirhams to people, right? Our first year in Dubai, we spent over almost 2 million dirhams, in running the business operation. Right? And for you to understand that, you need to multiply that by 158 or 160 now. Right. So, but the point was, if Feladrotre had not shared those things, I probably have traveled out. I probably would be working somewhere as an average person, earning max $50 an hour, $100 an hour. But I will not be at the level I am today. Right. And one of the things I did, I wrote that down, that this man, even though he didn't know, right, played a role in that becoming. And I want to beg you, because that was a powerful message by Pastor Poju, that when you help people, you may choose not to mention it, right? But when people help you, when certain people help you, right, you want to take it down. You want to even tell your children and say, this man, this woman was there for me. right? Because when you do that, and this is also helping in your own being grounded in your purpose, but it also goes a long way in convincing God to keep helping you because you have shown the heart of gratitude. The Bible talked about, David. David says, "There nobody in the house of Saul, in the house of Jonathan? Is there nobody? This guy, Jonathan, risk his life. Risk is, if this position I am is his position. He let it go. Is there nobody from that guy's house that I can show mercy and help? There must be somebody." And so when you hear God say, David is a man after my heart, it goes beyond just this guy understand, certain deeper things, right? From gratitude to God, gratitude to man. You saw how he had the opportunity to kill Saul. I was saying, no, I'm not going to do that. This man, he may not be the devil now, but at some point, God used him, right? And he has something on his life. So these are powerful things because there are some fights you don't need to fight. Okay? There are some people that you don't need to fight, even if it looks like they're fighting you. It's part of discovering purpose. In fact, when you discover purpose, you see, it makes you more humble because there are just certain relationships you will have been throwing away. But just at some point, this person will be relevant. There are certain ways you will have dealt with people, right? I had an experience right now where one particular employee of mine is an expatriate, and paying, of course, paying in dollars, right? This guy, month one, did not deliver one thing in his job description, and he's always complaining. Cut the long story short, in 2 months of that relationship, we've spent so much. And by the time he was leaving, right, I had to tell the team, go get him flight ticket, do his COVID test, right? Pay him this, pay him that. The normal me won't do it. But that's what purpose does. Because something just tell you, somehow, this may show up in future. Somehow, this may come around. Just do it right. Right? Just do it right. Right? It may be painful. It may cost you so much. But that's what purpose does. Right? It may make you even look as if your head no correct. But just do it right. Just do it right. And I look back at my life today and I said, if I had not done some things right, at the level we have come now, things will have messed up. There will have been so many scandals. There will have been so many, right? But the fact that one had remained on course had helped in a great way. Lastly, which is very important as well, is testimonies of people who have been blessed by what you do. Helps you to discover your purpose, right? When people share with you, I sat down with you, and this happened to me, right? I had this conversation with you, and this happened to me. That tells you there's a gift somewhere. This area, people keep noting that they got change. They got it. Sometimes you don't even feel you've done anything special. You don't even feel like something, what did I do? But when they start coming, so you say, okay, so there's something here. There's something here. For example, today I teach on finance and investment. I actually wasn't teaching that. I've tried other things to teach. But I realized that it was this finance thing that people give more testimony. If it's finance you want, who will give you more? Right? It costs me nothing. So testimonies that you get. And that's why even on my page, if you follow me, we try to share testimonies of what people say about their experience with me. Is important. Don't joke with it. Don't just say, oh, they are psyching me. Oh, they are just trying to make me feel somehow. Make sure that you note those testimonies. Read them to yourself. Let the world see them, because we are in a very wicked world. We're in a very harsh word. We're in a world where people don't care, people use words carelessly, people are just brutal, wicked. We will not have bullies on social media, right? But let your result terminate their insult. Share the testimony, right? I had a session with somebody yesterday, and this is what they said. I hosted a friend of mine, and after we talked, this was what the friend said about me. It helps you to, David said, testimony have hidden in my heart, right? Very powerful. Put those testimony in your heart, particularly in tough times of your life, in very difficult times of your life, when you look back, when it looks as if what people have said about you. There are times where people just say so much terrible things about you that if you just go back to good things others have said, you say, no, I'm not that bad. I may not be perfect, but there's a blessing in it. Destroy it not. There's a blessing in me. Okay? I will not be destroyed. There's something good in me. Right? I will not be destroyed. I'm getting better. I work more on me, but there's something good in me, and it can only get better. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've been blessed with these few words of mine. Like I told you, I'm not like, Pastor Dami.
Wow. Thank you so much, this. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Yes, thank you so much, DSA, for coming this evening. I don't take this for granted at all. It should be about after 12 a.m. your time. God bless you. That's all I can say. Thank you for pouring your thoughts, your experience, your story into these young people. So this program is for young people between the age of 16 and 24, right? And you are decades older than that. So you're speaking to your younger self. And I say that these were things that some people would wish they knew when they were younger. I've had 50-year-old women in my class asking me that, tell me, where have you been the last 30 years of my life? And I'm saying, I was in my mother's womb. They never born me that time, You're like, because just 2 hours with you and you've saved me 30 years. I wish I had known you, longer. I've had women who had no idea what their purpose was in life. And then we speak. So this thing you said about testimonials, at the time, I was so used to myself. They'll keep asking, what business do I start? What did this thing want money? This one business. I'm like, I used to foolishly say, how can you guys be so stupid? This thing is simple now. It's not just to do this. Can't you think? Are you dumb? I used to ridicule their question because I feel like it was normal. It was simple. I had no idea that it was simple to me because I was functioning in my place of purpose. But it was a big deal to them. They could not, fathom it. So that one was so spot on. And also what irritates you. I think till date, I'm not sure what irritates me more than to see people passionately broke or people who are so smart yet so broke, like PhD holders, university lecturers, like, with all the book you don't have money. Like, who does that? That one irritates the hell out of me. So yes, that is a big one, right? And of course, mentors. So when you admire people and what they do, that's to tell you what your heart is longing for, right? What they are doing is what is attracting you to them. You don't even mind their character, don't even mind their age or their gender or their tribe, not just because they are living a life that you also desire. That is pointing you towards your purpose. So thank you so much. And it just tells me, the first time I began to do a hit list of people I wanted to be, they're like, this person, and like I had a list of those. I was just I must have you in my corner, right? And I really honor you. I bless you for being here this evening to share with us. God bless you so much. I think we can take just one question. Is that possible, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Or okay, thank you so much. So, Jennifer, you will look through the chat and see if we have any question, and then you can unmute and share. With
what's the YouTube name?
Transformers Mentoring Hub. So let me send you the direct link on WhatsApp. Perhaps you can just visit it from there. Okay. Let me see. Well, yeah, this is. So I'll share the link with you, the link to the video directly. So we have over 1,000 people sign up for this program. Right now, I can see 39 of us are live, and it's just so disheartening. How can we have people come registered in thousands, and yet we are seeing only 38, 40 people? It just shows that this success thing, most of us want it with mouths. But when it's time to now pay the price, you begin to dilly-dally. You begin to negotiate with your life and your success. And I mean, well, it is what it is. So I want to thank you. Somebody says, my question to you, sir, is when you think about doing extraordinary things, but the circle you grow up with are not doing extraordinary things, what should you do? Brito, it seems you missed yesterday's class where Jimmy talked about environment. And he said, if you want to eat blueberries, you go to where blueberries is being served. Thank you, Oriavogene. You consciously move it. So go and watch the replay. It's available for free right here on YouTube. So go and watch the replay and listen to what Jimmy said about deliberately changing your circle and your environment. He thought about it actually. And also that purpose discovery, you said that it's what irritates you is what you are meant to solve. What about what you have passion for? Now, that's one area as well. What irritates you is what you have passion to solve. So it's the other way. It irritates you, yes, but now you now have passion to solve it. Irritation is a problem. Your passion is the solution. At least you can't have passion for poverty, can you? No. So you can have irritation for poverty. However, you have passion to be rich. You have passion to conquer poverty, right? I'm trying to save us time from taking any, let's ask a billionaire $1 billion question. Hello, ask a billionaire $1 billion. Don't waste these kind of opportunities, this kind of, real-time mentoring for free. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. All right. If there are no more questions, please, I encourage everyone to follow BSA Dr. Akintayo on Instagram. Is a star boy on TikTok. Like, is doing phenomenal on there. Also on Instagram, is posting like every day, every hour. I mean, to just see something. I think this guy managing. So we're really good to. I'm really grateful to have him here. All right. So somebody is asking, I think this is one sensible question that I think you can take and then create a night for you. Somebody says, Simon, it seems all you are trying to do is break from this chain of poverty and it's not working. What do you do? That's the only question you will take, and then we'll let you go. Wendy, I'll take your question on mentoring, okay? Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Well, my answer is that that's just normal, It's I know it's difficult for you to agree with me, but it's normal. We've all been there. We've all had that period where you just keep doing it and it looks as if it doesn't get better. Reverend Sam shared something like that about how, you go and meet Bishop Oyedepo, probably say, okay, try this, give him two principles, go in. So there was a time he went back and Bishop Oyedepo said, there's no more principle this time.
Wait it out.
Just doing what you are doing and things, right? So there's a season where it's not as if you need another more principle. Just keep doing what you're doing and things will change. And I think I am grateful and I am happy that you're hearing this because I heard this and it helps me. even in our company, there are tough seasons, and we always have that. But sometimes we have to be forced to downsize, you know, and it always work like I'm using jazz, because here is me downsizing, you know, and then 3 months down the line, the people who think we're about to crash, we just see us boom, like more than what they've ever seen. So it then look
Wow.
like, man, are you sure? Because I was there. I saw us, you know,
Going down.
going down, cutting down, doing this, and then boom. Like,
You're blowing.
are you sure? Something, but it's because I've gotten to that point where I just understand that just keep your staying power at, you know, is what eventually opens the door of success. Your staying power, powerful. In fact, Joshua, write that down for me so that my your staying power, right, is what eventually opened the door of success. You know, if they normally say that last straw that breaks the camel's back, actually it's your staying power. That is that last straw that eventually gets you there. If you just keep at it, right? Keep at it, keep at it. So I want to encourage you. We've all been there, where it's like you're doing everything, it's not changing, it's not getting. However, I'm not saying you shouldn't change strategy. I'm not saying you shouldn't reach out to other people for help, because you really need to, and it's powerful that you do. In fact, that's one of the things I'm discovering now. I mean, years ago, and I hope Tammy will discover that too. I used to think that there's another super strategy. There's another new, you know, if I can just hit that formula again. But what I've realized in recent time is that there's no more formula to hit. There's just a new network to connect with.
Whoa.
Yeah. So your first 100,000 is, you know, in fact, your first 1 million is going to be through hard work. Right? Your first, 100 million is going to be through strategic thinking, strategic partnership. Or your first 1 billion is just going to be purely who you know, strictly connection, strictly relationships that you keep. It's no longer hard work. It's no longer smart thinking. It's just being able. That's why sometimes it looks as if rich people, they like to go and play golf. They just they just, but no, that's the real work at their level. That's the real work. Is the right relationship, so whatever it takes, whatever it costs, which is why someone like me will be paying somebody $1.35 million, right, to host a person.
Being their network.
Yes, it's because those who follow him will start following me. Those who couldn't reach, right? We attempt. So if I could even reach, at least, particularly the black ones, this one is my color. Let me try and reach. He obviously know what the guy has. That his own friends will now want to say, hey, can we do something with that guy? The guy seems to be the African guy. He will even tell them, don't open Africa, talk to this guy. So there will ultimately be more that will come. So a level comes where it's no longer more work. It's no longer more strategic, whatever. It's just that right network.
My goodness. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. See, I'm owing you maybe a night at this your Bujara Kaladi.